Hello and welcome here on the Tandes YouTube channel. Actually, this video is all about manufacturing the Orca. If you want to see more about how this thing is made and how we do it, and if you want to see our tricks to copy it, then you should watch this video. Actually, we have just started manufacturing the first batches. The rollout has begun. I have to tell you how much my heart is touched by the crazy back orders. It's so amazing that so many of you want one of these Orcas. So thank you, and please be patient. We are now going to show you how we do it. We are still ramping up the production, so it's really the first batch is ongoing. Let's see what's going on. Let's go. Next to me is Visa, let's say my first officer in this company. She's also managing the production, so she knows every step and she's guiding us through this video here. The first step actually is the 3D printers. And the first question you might ask yourself, aren't they stupid? They have mold injection machines, why aren't they using them? The truth is, we don't have molds yet. We didn't expect this product to be so successful. We were hoping for, you know, some units and 100 here, and then we will see. But actually, as I told you, it's amazing how much we need. So we have to go with a plan. We have to start with 3D printing. It's actually also good for us, because if you have a mold, the part is in metal and you can hardly change it. But here, if we have an idea, especially for the next month, there might be a good feedback or an idea from our team here, and we can still adapt some details on the product to make everything as smooth as possible. So it's actually good that we started here with 3D printing. One thing I have to tell you, we don't use an easy filament. Actually, we are using polycarbonate with a high flame retardant behavior. We have to, because there are regulations. This product has to be safe, so it has to be flame retardant. That's why we are using one of the hardest material to 3D print. Still, we do our best to make the parts look nice. So we are lucky, we are doing kind of mass production here. We really optimize the process to the maximum. We are just starting to build up the printer farm. Here are the first 10 units, and here are the next 5 units. Why do we need the extra 5 units? Those of you who are familiar with the process, changing color is pain in the ass, because, you know, if you're printing in black and then you're switching to white, there might be some tiny dots or whatever, and we have to avoid them, because you want a premium product that is perfect. So there will be printers for the black filament alone. This is exclusively for those of you who are looking forward to buy the black version. The Orca is actually made out of some parts. So here you can see, this is for the 6105 version. And see what we have here. The main housing. And I can tell you, having it in this great quality is so pain in the ass. We have to throw away more than I want. Yeah, actually. But you know, you're buying a product and there's a scratch. And you will always remember that when you first bought it, there's a scratch. It doesn't matter how many scratches you are causing during the lifetime of the product, but you will always remember the first scratch that someone else did. So we are really cautious here, and it's a premium product, you know? Okay, and then there are some parts like this holder here, which is actually massive and heavy. Also here, yeah, it was important for us that you get everything in your box for every mounting type. You don't have to buy an additional holder. You want this one box and everything works. And I'm very, very thankful to my colleagues who engineered this part. Then there is this lid, for example, and there you can see the scale. We are now ramping up like 100 a week. We will see how far we come. Actually, this depends on you. And of course, we have different parts here that we also 3D print. And now who knows where this part is coming from? Yeah, it's 9430 skimmer with our, I don't know the English word for it. How did we call it? In German, we call it Flüsterauslauf. And there are parts that you didn't expect. For example, these here, we will see later, you need it to adjust the length of the carbon fiber pipe. Let's see the next step, actually, yes. Yeah. The first thing we actually have to do is, we don't assemble the electronics. There are companies that are specialized on it. We are those who, you know, do the coil winding here, do the mold injection process here. One day, this might be different, but today, we just buy them. The first thing is we have to upload the firmware. It is a little bit difficult. The firmware is most likely the most valuable thing on the Orca, actually. You can't just upload anything on it. It is important that every Orca gets its own serial number, so only those that we touched can be connected to our system. This takes a while, unfortunately, because yeah, it's a tiny microprocessor that needs some time, but it's actually a dual-core microcontroller. Dual core. And after we have the proper firmware on them, we have to solder everything together. The base part is a stepper motor, but a stepper motor alone isn't enough.
The cables made in Germany, the case and the motor together, we solder them.
You might remember Roger doing this step. Actually, yeah. Always when someone sees this process is done by hand, they're like, oh, that's crazy amount of hand labor. There's so much to do. Yes, actually it is, because you know, it's a manufactured product. Automate this process is ridiculous because the amount is still not big enough. Here you can detect some details. This cable here is the same as we used on the Osmolator 3. With one difference, this is now with 4 pins for your pump. You can't do it wrong. And also a little detail, you can see the first sealing here, a silicone O-ring that will later seal the housing against, you know, when the device is suddenly falling in the water accidentally. We want the product not to break. We want this product to last like forever, and we know that it's close to salt water. That's why potting is a very important step we are doing here in house. For all the magnets, imagine if you put this in salt water, it will break immediately, and there are no real sealings. Everything we make here has to withstand harsh conditions, has to withstand salt water and splashes and corrosive environments, and that's why potting is really a strength in our manufacturing. The Osmolator 3 has to be sealed as well, and so this process is well known in-house. And of course we do the same procedure for the Orca. So imagine the nice cable, the 3D printed lid, the electronics with the firmware on it, the motor with this adapter to later connect to the carbon fiber pipe. Now everything is clean. I enjoy this look. You are for sure as well. Otherwise you wouldn't watch this video, of course. We pot everything. It is technically not necessary that there are no bubbles. But again, we want this product to be perfect, so we also make sure that here there are no bubbles. And if you ask yourself, why is it transparent resin? We could have chosen the black one. We will see later. There is an LED, a status, an indicator LED, and it has to shine through the potting, so the whole thing is made with transparent PU. As I told you, we use it for the LED lights, and we use it for the Osmolator as well. When we walk around here, everything is a combination of craftsmanship and tinkering and sometimes industrial processes. It's crazy, but this is who we are. In this step, the Orca finally looks like it's going to look, and everything is prepared now. And you can imagine, we wanted this housing as tiny as possible, so we really cramped in everything as close together as possible, because nobody wants a brick on top, on the side of his tank. Nobody wants to see a brick holding a pump, you know, and 10 years ago this was standard. So really make it as tiny as possible was one of our main goals, and still make it waterproof was important. So as I told you, this part here is now potted, so the entrance of the cable is watertight. Then here we have the silicone O-ring that is perfectly fitting to the housing, so this makes this step waterproof. But of course here this shaft here is moving all the time, and to make this waterproof we have this sealing here. Then the sticker is applied, and as I told you, the potting has to be transparent, so the LED can shine through the housing. And then here you can see the eye is actually transparent, and later you can see the status of the device through the eye. Isn't this a nice Easter egg? It is, yes. Okay, so then we have the Orca ready to go to the final assembly, and this is where we will go now. So now we are coming to the final assembling. The one part here is the carbon fiber pipe. I'm telling you a little secret about it. This carbon fiber pipe is actually really made in Germany. Like the carbon fiber pipe here is more expensive than the complete aquatongs. And way more expensive than the complete aquatongs, because it's no secret, the aquatongs are coming from China. This is a pure made in Germany product for you. So, and also one little secret, really only days before we started manufacturing, we just found out that this little screw here, it's not really submerged, but it's close to the water surface, and even if it was the highest grade of steel, it started to corrode. So really just before we started assembling them, we changed it to a plastic screw. And because it has to be thicker to be as reliable as the steel version, we're still making the holes a little bit bigger than we intended. So unfortunately, there's still tinkering in this manufacturing. Then a part that, yeah, you have just seen this year was coming from the printer farm down below. These you might know, there are sister parts of the holder of the Osmolator 3 project. Also on one of the shows someone asked me, how is this mechanism working? Actually, it's this part here I showed you at the beginning of the video. It's a spring, and with this mechanism you can change the length of the carbon fiber pipe, yeah, and how deep the water is submerged. It's also kind of nice to have this versatile solution like that. And after that, we add the flow pump. I can tell you on this step, we haven't shown you much about the flow pump here, but you obviously already know there is a 6075 version and a 6105 version. So you get actually the Orca together with a flow pump. So it's no longer a pump oscillator and you have to buy a separate flow pump and somehow tinker them together, but it's one reliable solution and everything fits to each other, okay? If you're more interested about how these pumps are made, I just showed you some little steps in the production, but while we are talking here, care magnets are being made, skimmers are being made, and everything has its own desks, you know, and its own steps. So we made a video about the manufacturing of the 6075. Actually, our German YouTube channel used to be multi-language. We will put a link down in the description about the manufacturing of the 6075 on our German YouTube channel, but it is in English for you. And of course, we are still ramping up the production. We want every product to be perfect for you. Every Orca is connected to the cloud once. We do the full operation, the full installation process with every device. We make sure that every feature is 100% working. So when you are buying it, it won't fail. So, and then everything is put together. Now you see it's a made in Bavaria product, and there's a lot of passion here since we are not a huge manufacturer that, you know, is assembling millions of parts. And of course, you are getting 5-year warranty on this product. There is no subscription, no registration, no hurdles. We just want you to be happy with your product. And if you are not, we are there for you like on all our products. While my friends here are continuing to assemble the Orcas that you have ordered, I have to tell you, like on the beginning of this video, there's a crazy amount of pre-orders. I have to tell you that I'm a little bit sorry that it will still take a while, but let's cross fingers. We are doing our best that Santa Claus can deliver your presents to you. So please be a little bit patient. We do our best. We want every Orca to be just perfect, and we don't want to rush on this step. So friends, thank you very much for watching. If you have watched this video to the very end, you are either a competitor or a real friend of this company and want to identify with us, or you're just looking forward to get one and want to learn more about it, of course. There are more videos like that coming in the future, but of course there will be more videos on how we install the Orcas on different tanks, so you can see their full potential and their power in real life conditions and not in this, you know, boring manufacturing part. So see you in the next video. Bye.